Welcome to the Health Flow Podcast. I'm your host, Jean Armand. Join me weekly as I share health information that will educate and inspire you. Please consider supporting this podcast by listening, subscribing, and rating. You can also support future episodes by making small monthly donations. Once again, welcome to the Health Flow Podcast. Welcome to the Health Flow Podcast. This week, I have my guest, Ms. Tracey Brown. I'm so pleased to have her. She is a personal trainer, nutrition coach, and Tracey, welcome to episode 26 of the Health Flow Podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Tracey Brown, and I am the owner of Tracey Denise Fitness here in Atlanta, Georgia. Offer personal training, nutrition coaching, as well as mindset coaching. And I have been in the industry going on actually 2 years. Will be the end of this month, actually, will be my 2-year anniversary. And my mission is basically to help women get unstuck, starting with their mindset as it relates to their overall wellness, mind, body, and soul. So a lot of women, especially in the Black community, the statistics are overwhelming in reference to just the lack of attention and commitment to living a healthier lifestyle, starting with mindset and then, working its way, with fitness as well as nutrition. So that is why I'm here. That is my purpose. And I am excited to just work with women and just get them on the right track.
Awesome. I just happened to be scrolling through Instagram and I saw your information and I was like, she sounds really interesting. She fits right into my passion, which is motivating people to live a healthier life. Yes, and sharing, healthcare experiences. And when I was reading your story, I also noticed that you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Can you share that? I actually had an episode that I did just on ovarian and cervical cancer.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 2016. So actually, let me backtrack. So I started doing CrossFit in 2013, and it just happened. It was literally like flipping on a switch. CrossFit was never anything that I was interested in. Actually, I was afraid of the term. Thinking that I would literally die if I tried it. But I tried it. But at that time, I had actually also started running. And I was also the person who you would never catch running anything. But fast forward, I ended up doing 2 half marathons. Wow. So I joined CrossFit 2013, did my last half marathon in 2015. So 2016, I was actually training to do my first Olympic lifting competition, as well as another obstacle race. And my doctor, going for a checkup, and he's like, okay, well, you need to have surgery. And I'm like, for what? Now, I'd always had a cyst on my ovary, but it would go down and then it would go up, but there was never any issue. But he was saying, you're just going to need to have a hysterectomy. And I'm like, well, but it's not bothering me. Nothing is bothering me. I'm not having any issues. He said, just whatever. So I'm at the gym doing burpees. And I noticed that every time I hit the floor, something was not right. Something just was off. So he sent me to have an ultrasound. Then they saw the cyst that had grown. Fast forward, okay, go to the oncologist, do a test. Okay, yeah, a week later, hey, we have an opening for surgery. And I'm like, okay, what's up with that? Typically, when you go to have a hysterectomy, there's never an opening within the next week. So something's up. So go have the surgery, and then was told while in the hospital, yes, it was cancer, stage 1, nothing spread, you're good, but I still want you to have chemo. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have things to do. I don't have time for this. So I had to put all of that on hold, could not do my competition, could not do my obstacle race. So in light of all that, I was not focused on the recovery of the surgery or anything else. I was most focused on worried about losing the gains that I had gotten just working out. I was worried about missing the gym, missing the workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that happened in September. Actually, yeah. So the surgery was July 2016, and I started my first round of chemo. He wanted me to do 6 rounds of chemo, starting in September, and I ended my treatment in December of 2016.
Wow. And
Yeah.
everything is fine.
Everything's good. Everything's good.
But before, and then you got into, when I was listening to you, it's always that you said you started running, you were never really a runner and things like that. It's always seemed to be that there's like a life event.
Yes.
For me, I started cycling when I went through a divorce.
Okay.
So
Okay.
4 years ago, going through a divorce, you have to deal with stress and things like that. There's positive and negative ways you can deal with it.
Correct.
It could be drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever, or you
right.
pick up something else. I chose to pick up cycling, and that's how I started with working out.
Right.
Not really at my best, my ideal health goals, still struggling, still working at it, but that really made a difference in my life.
Absolutely.
Just something else to focus on that was good for me.
Yes. And that all starts with your mindset. You had it, from the beginning, you made the decision. You had the mindset of, I need an outlet to relieve this stress and to gain my focus and do something positive versus something that would,
exactly,
versus something negative. So that was also my mindset. I was adamant on keeping up with the same routine. I was not going to allow that setback to dictate or become my reality in terms of how I was going to live my life. So CrossFit, working out, that was and still is, that's my happy place. That was my stress reliever. Right. So my doctor, he was telling me, yeah, I know you do CrossFit, but the chemo and everything, it's going to, wear you down and you're going to be tired and you're not going to be able to keep up with the intensity. And I was like, okay, I don't care. He's like, you need to try something else. No, I'm not going to do anything else. With CrossFit, there's a misconception that everything is so intense but no, that's actually the total opposite. CrossFit, everything can be modified to your level at that time. So I told him, even if I am tired, if all I can do is muster up the strength to go and just sit and watch everybody else, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did.
You were determined.
I mean, it's all about mindset. Like, okay, I recognize from the beginning, this is a storm. Storms don't last forever. It's just a setback.
Yeah.
And I just had to, continually tell myself, you know what, I just pushed through. Those are my 2 favorite words, push through it. Because there was a moment where actually after a treatment, I was feeling like crap. And I remember I was just telling my friend, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm stopping it. I'm not doing this anymore. And they were like, no, you're not. Just no, you're not. Which, and everyone is deserving of that moment. Yes. Of feeling like, being mad, being pissed about the situation. Sure, you earn that right to be upset about the situation, but don't stay there.
Right.
It's the equivalent of, like sitting in dirty bath water.
Right.
You get in there, you sit in there, but if you decide to just stay there, then
I'll get all shriveled and wrinkled up.
Right. But the point is, get up, get out the tub.
Yes. That mindset thing is something real, and you don't have to get it right every single day, but if you at least, you have to make an attempt. You got to get out. You got to continue to fight for things that you want. Mindset affects every area of your life.
Yes.
Are you going to get up earlier than you should? It's a mindset. Do you set your mind that you're going to eat certain things? That's a mindset. Am I going to exercise today? That's a mindset.
Yes.
So, it's changing your mindset and knowing that you're strong and powerful enough to do it.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Awesome. That's great. So you did your Your chemotherapy, that was, so you had surgery and then you had chemotherapy.
Right. Yeah.
Was there any other treatments?
No, that was it.
Okay. And you're set right now.
Yep.
All right. So then how did you get into becoming being a personal trainer?
So that was another one of those things where I don't know how that happened. And all I can say is that was just all God, because to this day, I'm actually a photographer. So for 12 years, I was a full-time wedding photographer. Okay. And I got burnt out. And so there was a period where I was like, okay, now I got to figure out what I want to do when I grow up. And so a friend actually, suggested the whole personal training thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And that was basically planting the seed for what is now, but I just didn't realize it at the time. So I just started studying, doing the course online, self-paced, took the exam, but I knew that I did not want to work at an LA Fitness and be that type of personal trainer. I wanted to work with women one-on-one in a private setting. Okay. That I did know for sure. And then it just evolved into mindset, actually. And was speaking to the owner of my CrossFit gym, and he was like, hey, well, because I was asking him basically to use the facility to train clients. And so then he brought me on. So now I'm one of the personal trainers at the CrossFit gym, as well as we also created a nutrition program, coaching program at the gym. So now I'm a nutrition coach at the gym as well. And now I'm just taking that and running with it. So now I'm just basically working on developing my own mindset coaching program. So it kind of, I don't know, it's just one of those things where I finally arrived at a point where I realized what my purpose is, which is basically serving and helping women.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. Very good. Where's the gym now?
Well, CrossFit South Cobb, that's in Smyrna.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
That's not that's for those who's familiar with Atlanta.
With Atlanta, yes. But I also offer online coaching, personal training, as well as nutrition. So I do offer online coaching for those that are outside of the Atlanta area.
Necessarily come to the classes.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to touch on overeating. I saw that you wrote a blog about overeating. Mm-hmm. Can we get into that? Because it's an issue.
I mean, so it's when you're eating, it's all about being mindful. Yes. Being mindful of what you're eating and how much you're eating. And the problem I come across with the majority of all of my clients, nutrition or even personal training, no one knows really what to eat or how to eat. Mm-hmm. So even though there are certain fad diets out there, you have your keto, you have your intermittent fasting, and a lot of others, the detoxes, all of that, honestly, it's all about just being mindful. So when you cut out preservatives, all processed foods, fried foods, and anything, basically just eating whole foods. Eating whole foods, that's the key to weight loss and just eating healthy. But with overeating, you eat until you feel full, and then you push away from the table, you get up. But a lot of us continue, even after feeling full, continue eating. Mm-hmm. And then which leads to guilt, which leads to other emotions, which then leads to the emotional eating and the stress eating and all of that. So it's all about being mindful about what you're eating, how much you're eating. Mm-hmm. So overeating, I mean, that's what's plaguing us all. Right. But it's about being just mindful eating and just being aware of how portion sizes and that sort of thing.
Okay. And what about explain a little bit more about eating whole? What is, just talk a little bit more about that.
So basically, as an example, when you're grocery shopping, there's certain tips and strategies on how to make sure you're getting the right foods. Is shop the perimeter of the grocery store. So on the perimeter of the grocery store, that's where all the healthy foods are. Mm-hmm. Stay or try to avoid the aisles. Nothing in the aisles is healthy. So that's where your preservatives and your processed items are, in the aisles. So when you start on the perimeter, that's where your produce and your lean meats, with the exception of the bakery, because that's also on the perimeter.
Right.
So I know, for example, Kroger, when you go through, like you go right through the bakery, at least the one in my area.
Yeah.
It's you hit the bakery before you hit the produce section.
Exactly. That's how it is with Publix that I go to also. As soon as you get in, it's like a little flower shop.
Right.
Nothing but the bakery. And then you go before that, then you have your, their little lines that they make sandwiches and stuff like that.
Right.
Then you get to the fruits and vegetables.
Yes. And that's all. Yeah. So, yes. So they know what they're doing. It's very strategic on their part when they do that. But again, here's where mindset comes in.
Mm-hmm.
When laser focused, you just go through that to get to the target of starting with the produce.
Right.
So that's your fruits and your vegetables, and then you make your way to, the meat case with your lean meat, your lean beef and all that. But that's the key, shopping, just knowing how to shop, right, and not going to the store hungry.
Yeah.
Because that's where you'll end up in the aisles with the chips and the cookies and everything that has nothing to do with your goals.
Yeah, that is true. I had a previous guest that he says that he's like, just shop the perimeter. Don't go down the aisles. So,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, and there are some things where you will, I mean, realistically, you do need to go to the aisles for. Yeah. But, when you have a plan, you got to have a plan of action when you go to the grocery store, starting with first, do not go hungry.
Right. And I think too, plan what your meals are like.
Exactly.
Don't just randomly buy stuff.
Right.
That's
right.
I stopped doing that for a while. Don't just randomly buy stuff. Have in mind, okay, if you're going to make, I don't know, a vegetable lasagna or whatever, then you're buying the ingredients for that.
Right.
Whatever, have a plan.
Right.
That plan goes with everything. Without a plan, the people shall perish. Yes.
That's right.
Without a plan, you're going to buy more than what you need.
Right. Because exactly. So that's why I did my nutrition coaching. We talk about planning your meals. There's meal planning, and there's, tips on how to read nutrition labels. So basically making your list, planning your meals, so if it says, and just buying those things for that meal plan for the week. So that's also key in reference, touching on overeating and weight loss is you're supposed to eat 5 times a day, 5 small meals per day, and never skipping breakfast. Mm-hmm. So when you're not mindful of that and you don't plan in advance, that is what leads to overeating as well. Because some people, they'll skip breakfast, they'll eat a huge lunch, or they might, be at work and working in meetings, and they may only have maybe yogurt or something for lunch, and then they'll have this huge dinner, and basically puts them over their calories. So basically you only lose weight when you're in a caloric deficit. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't, they don't know this. They think, okay, well, if I'm only supposed to have, for example, 1,500 or 1,800 calories per day, I'll eat the 1,500 or 1,800 calories in one meal.
Yeah. Or they don't realize it. They just don't realize it. I think there was something I was watching, like maybe the Today Show this week, and they were just giving examples of certain meals and the amount of calories they had versus, and you're not even aware. You're not aware.
And that's the whole point of that's what I'm saying, being mindful. You have to know and be aware of what and how you're eating, because mindless eating is overeating. Yeah. And when you don't have that information, or you're not paying attention to what you're eating, you're only, it's only about, okay, the taste, or, being in a rush, or, and you're really not focused. And it's a whole gamut of things.
For me, I think, okay, so all of this takes time and effort.
Absolutely.
It really does. But at the end of the day, each individual is worth it. You are worth the time you may spend on Sunday and Saturday planning your meals for the week.
Yes.
And I know that, I've fallen prey to all of this. You're so busy, you're doing everything else, and then you lose the, you're out of time to do the things that benefits you.
Right.
This is to really encourage women, everyone.
Yes, everyone.
You're worth the effort.
Absolutely.
We are worth the effort. You plan for your job. You plan for, if your job has a project for you to do, there's planning that goes with it in order for you to execute it.
Right.
Put yourself on the calendar is my way of saying. Plan and take care of it. And I mean, I'm speaking to other women, but I'm also really speaking to myself.
All of us, we all fall short. But the point is, it's important to give ourselves grace when we do fall, because it's going to happen. We're human.
Yes, just keep trying.
But don't beat yourself up, because when you know better, you do better. And so when you fall, okay, get back on track
and do it.
And do it.
And it can be done.
Right.
It can be done.
But you have to make it a priority. And the reason why people don't focus on it more, commit to it more, because it's not a priority.
Exactly. You are very right. You are very right. So give us your best weight loss advice.
Losing weight. So for me, when you commit, starting with the mindset, when you make the decision and you acknowledge, when you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you make the decision to do something, that's when change happens. Right. So as it applies to weight loss, when you make the decision to change your eating habits and make a decision to do consistent workouts, the weight has no choice but to fall off. My focus primarily is that body fat percentage. Yeah. That's what's more important to me. I mean, the number on the scale is going to just go down naturally when you apply start these habits. So when I meet with clients, we measure body fat, because that body fat percentage, if it's too high, that is what puts you more at risk for your heart disease, heart attacks, your strokes, diabetes. Mm-hmm. So I tell my clients, stop focusing on the number on the scale. Right. Let's focus on lowering body fat percentage. So with weight loss, a lot of people are impatient. Yeah. I am also an impatient person, so I'm still working on that. However, it took you 20, 30 years to get to this weight. Right. You're not going to lose it in 3 to 4 weeks. Right. So I tell clients, this whole weight loss process, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So with consistency and patience and doing the work, you can reach your goals. Yeah. So, because I had one client, she showed me a picture. It was maybe 20 years old, and she was just, and I said, wow, that's a great picture, but okay, you're never going to look like that again. Right. Realistically. You're not. I was like, the only way you're going to look like that is if you start smoking crack. So that's not an option. Right. So no, because you're older, you're 20 years older now. As we age, that metabolism, it slows down. Mm-hmm. So, we have to be realistic. So it's all about setting smart goals. Yeah. Smart goals, specifically being realistic. Yeah. And you're right, that body fat percentage, and you could tell that if you're healthy, if say, you have high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And you're now losing some of that body fat, you've changed the way you're eating, and your pressure is now normalizing. Right. Big plus. Yeah. You're doing something. Right. Because you can be, as an example, you can be 5'6" and say 200 pounds and be healthy. Right. So it's not all about the number on the scale. Yeah. What is your body fat? Yeah. And we all need to be reminded of that. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely right. Yeah. Awesome. Mm-hmm. We're just here to, the message is the same. I don't know how, this is probably with different people, this is probably, I don't know, my 3rd or 4th episode, just
talking about weight loss, taking good care of yourself, because it's such a great component of your health.
Yeah, I mean,
and as you age,
right, because
to live more healthier now than
right
when we were, in our early 20s.
Right. And another misconception is that with the whole eating healthy, that you can't have, Chick-fil-A as an example. Right. Yeah, you can. So I actually did a live one day. Went to lunch and I was at Chick-fil-A, and I just, did a quick video, and I was like showing, yes, I'm eating Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. I'm eating the waffle fries and the sandwich, and I have my Polynesian sauce, and I got a lemonade to go with it.
Right.
You can have Chick-fil-A, you can have your lemon pepper wings if you want. It's about that's a part of being mindful. That's mindful eating.
Right.
And you can have that. It's not all about restrictive eating, because when you restrict, so a restrictive diet like intermittent fasting and keto, you're setting yourself up for sabotage. Mm-hmm. Because no one can sustain that over a long period of time for a lifestyle, over a long period of time. It's about being realistic. I mean, I don't know anyone really, or heard of any, or read any studies that have shown people who have gone, I don't know, over a long period of time, only starting to eat at 11 a.m. and stopping at 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's about, so you can have a cheat meal. A lot of people think they can't have a cheat meal if they're eating, healthy. Yeah, you can. It's about being in moderation. Right. Not eating it every day. Treat yourself. You can do that.
And if you're actually exercising, you can exercise and burn some of those calories from that meal.
Yes.
Yes. Some people use that as a motivation, okay, this is my cheat day. So then that means I'm going to work out, an extra 15, 20 minutes or do more cardio that day.
Right. But the key is also, you can have a cheat meal, not a cheat day.
Yeah.
Not a cheat day. Not a cheat weekend. A cheat meal. One cheat meal.
How many cheat meals can you have?
One cheat meal.
One cheat meal per week.
Yes. And also another misconception is that you should not eat after 7 or 8 p.m. Uh-huh. That's not true. It's not about the time that you're eating. It's about what you're eating. So you can have, as an example, an apple, so one of my favorite sweet snacks, an apple, some peanut butter, and some semi-sweet chocolate chips.
Okay.
You can eat after 7. It's about what is it that you're eating?
It's not carb laden.
No.
That you're not gonna digest or
right
burn anything and just go and lay down and sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you're not eating a pizza at 7 or 8, and then, right? I mean, some people are, yes.
Yeah. Let's get real.
But yeah, you can eat after 7, and a lot of people I meet with, they're like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "That's a myth.
It's what you're eating.
It's what you're eating." Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This has been awesome. You have anything else to share? How can the people reach out to you for?
I am on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Tracey Denise Fitness, Tracey, Tracey Denise Fitness. And my website is TraceyDeniseFitness.com.
Awesome. And I'll include that in our show notes. So, anyone that listens to the podcast will have access to you.
Okay, absolutely. And welcome questions and anything that I could help. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I love.
Awesome. You might be hearing from me.
Okay.
Thank you, Tracey.
All right. Thank you.
You have a blessed day.
I appreciate it. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Health Flow podcast. Your support is much appreciated. It is my goal to share health information that you find helpful. Email topics of interest to thehealthflow@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at The Health Flow, also on Facebook at The Health Flow. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share. Until next time, keep your health flowing.